Yo, what's good, everybody? We back with another one. Apologies for being late with a little technical difficulties, but it's all good. This your boy JTL. Got my partner HD here. Say what up to the people, HD.
What's up, people? How y'all is doing?
All right, so we're gonna run through a couple quick topics for y'all tonight. So HD, I'm gonna let you go ahead and start it off.
All right, so this is just gonna be a question that I'm gonna pose, and I'm gonna pose it to my partner. Then I'm gonna get his perspective on it, and then I'm gonna kind of, just go off his reaction and go from there. So I had came up with this from reading some articles a while back from both black men and black women, speaking on relationships. And the articles I was reading, they were from black men and black women who were over the age of 30. So it wasn't any of the young folks doing any of they uh, dancing around. It was 30 and over speaking on, trying to figure out how to pick the correct mate, what to look for, what to accept, what not to accept. So the question that I'm posing, and this is um, from a man's perspective, and this is the question I'm asking to my partner. What do you think is most important, or do you think they're both equal when looking for a woman? You want a woman that's cooperative or a woman that's agreeable? And before answering that, I had looked up, the exact proper definitions of both cooperative and agreeable, based upon the Webster's dictionary. Of course, that was written by someone white, so whatever. But also in doing research, because this question had been posed, before in different articles and stories, and the way that I broke it down, you could take however you want from the dictionary, but the way I broke it down was an agreeable person is basically someone that's willing to agree to something. And then a cooperative person, it would involve mutual assistance to work towards a common goal. So those were the basic breakdowns of agreeable and cooperative. So, JTL, what's more important to you? A woman that's cooperative or a woman that's agreeable? Go.
Oh man, I would say cooperative. You need cooperation when you're trying to do something in life. So from your partner, and it's hard if y'all trying to rear your children a certain way, finances, different things of that. You need cooperation. You know what I'm saying? So I see the difference. It's almost like being agreeable, but not in the sense that you're just running along with anything, but
hmm
cooperation to work together. So I definitely say cooperation.
Yeah, when I was doing my research, I seemed to see at the beginning it was a lot of people just rolling with the agreeable portion until you actually got into looking at the definitions and seeing what both really mean. And I would agree with you. I definitely would rather, if I had to choose between the two, because both are actually good things to look for in a woman. But I would more so want to have someone that's cooperative as well, because when you are in a relationship with somebody, grown up relationship, the two of you are supposed to be a team, or as they used to say, a well oiled machine. And in order for that machine to work, both people have to be cooperative in moving forward, like you said, and making life decisions, not just where you're gonna go out to eat. Is this mortgage okay for us to afford? Can we afford this house? You know, how should we raise our children? Should we let them stay out this late, or should we make their curfew this time? How are we gonna handle our overall finances? How are we gonna handle uh, in-law situations? There's a million things that come up when you're in that stage of marriage, and once you're there, it's supposed to be two people. Now, we can go back and forth about, the head of the household and the man, wearing the pants or whatever. However, we're not going to go there. But when you're really having a team and you have a teammate, I definitely would want to have someone that's cooperative. And it seemed like, sadly to say, a lot of people really didn't know the distinction between the two. Because when I was reading as well, a lot of people were under the impression like, oh, well, that's basically the same thing. There are some differences in between the two. And if you have to decide between the two, you should definitely know what they both mean and how they would affect you as a person in a relationship with somebody.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. You hit the what they say, nail on the head with that one. Hit the. I think also because it's like so many people. It's like in these days and age, day and age. What's so sad nowadays is you got so many um people fighting about the word submissive, and then now cooperation is coming into play more. And I see women getting upset about that. And it's like, well, like my partner just stated, all right, not agreeable, but cooperation. And they looking at that like it's submissive. Now, I don't like that word. It's like, so any word that talks about cooperating with your man, especially your brother, a brother, is a problem. And that's so sad. You mean to tell me even if you find somebody you love and care about, that's gonna be your attitude and they're supposed to accept it. A lot of people need therapy, to be honest with you. And I'm not saying all women are necessarily wrong for how they feel. You got a lot of brothers out there who get what I don't get is how you get cooperation when other is doing some stupid shit. Like our couples today are so sad in general. I see, and we talked about this before. I see homeless people cooperate and work together, and crackheads work better together than damn regular everyday people nowadays. That is so damn sad that you mean to tell me crack bring people better together. Homelessness can bring people better together. But when you have a decent situation where both of y'all work and got your own income, whether you got your own place or a place together, you blessed to have a roof over your head, food on your table, and instead of giving thanks and being thankful, you want to fight with each other because you have a point to prove. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good one. You got anything else you want to say? I don't want to just keep cutting you off or whatever. You got to unmute yourself, H. I think you muted yourself or something.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I didn't want to be rambling on
You
your
probably talking
end.
now. I can't hear nothing.
No,
Hey,
I was just
nothing.
saying that's definitely something that people should think about in relationships, and also when it comes to that team thing, a lot of people face the issue of letting outside influences get in the way of being agreeable with somebody, whichever way. Even if people think agreeable is better or cooperative, outside influences, whether that be friends, family members, your mother, social media, there's nothing wrong with having a chat with your brother or your sister or your auntie or your mom, or looking at something on social media. But the bottom line is, you and that other person got to make the decisions, and the outside influences should not have a final say in those final decisions. It should be that man and that woman. And when you looking at those two words, it has to be between you two. It's okay to get opinions from outside people, but when it comes down to those final decisions, it's those two people who have to sit down and cooperate together to make that final decision, because those outside influences, they're not with you on the day to day, and they're not living under the roof with you. And if they are, then that's a problem. If they are under the same roof as you and they trying to, butt into that unit that you guys have, there need to be some boundaries and some lines drawn, even if it's the mother, because there's a lot of instances where the mother on either side, the mother of the son, excuse me, of the man, or the mother of the woman, where that mother is having too much say so in what's going on. That mother hopefully got her own life and her own marriage, and if she doesn't, maybe that's the problem. She need to get her own business, because the bottom line, it comes between those two people. So that's the last point I want to make. If you're gonna have a partnership where you're agreeing and being cooperative, it got the final decisions have to be between the two of you, not the outside influences.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. That's a good point. I remember when we kind of was rocking with Q. Uh,
Okay.
you had told me something he had said back in the days when he was like, instead of putting everybody in their business, they work together on what they need to work together on. And I always thought that was cool because if you look at it, they've been together like since they was 17, 18 or something like that, young, and they still married. You know what I'm saying? Within to their 50s. I don't know how old Q's wife is, but if she around the same age, so that means they've been together for shit around 40 years or something like that. And you can't beat that with a stick. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to have a woman. Y'all excuse the helicopter in the back. They chasing somebody around or something, I guess. But
Always chasing a
but
brother.
that's something that's really. They chasing the brother, man. They
You
chasing the
know it.
brother.
Know
But
it.
that's something that's real important. You know what I'm saying? Like it's stupid.
Yeah, he said
But
what he
that's
said
something that's
was he
real
was like,
important is the
instead
fact.
of going to a counselor or a therapist, why we need to go pay somebody when me and her could sit on this sofa, turn off everything, and me and her have a one-on-one talk and resolve whatever issue we got. We don't need to go pay nobody. Not saying that anything's wrong with therapy or seeing a counselor. I ain't saying that. It's just the way he said it, was that we don't need to go pay somebody. Me and her could sit here one on one, we in this relationship together, so me and her can sit here and bust up whatever kind of problem we got. That's the two of us. And I thought that was real solid. On
Yeah,
mute
you
Joseph.
can't pay for that type of integrity. You know what I'm saying? Hear me now.
I can hear you loud and
You hear me?
clear. I hear you now.
All right. But yeah, you can't pay for that type of integrity. You know what I'm saying? And about your relationship. And it be so sad when you see somebody like Snoop Dogg who 50 and he's still out here doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like how you still out here getting caught and you out here wilding out and all of that stuff.
Tricking.
Bruh, you too
Tricking. Just
old
call
for
it what
that.
it is.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you out here tricking on. Yeah, you out here tricking and was tricking on. Ain't even all that. They're like, damn, could you at
Not at
least do it
all.
with a woman? I mean, you shouldn't, but can you at least do it with a woman that your wife could at least look at? Okay, well, I see why he felt weak, like an idiot. But you did it with some. Yeah, so you got to understand, with sisters, respectfully, sisters they pay attention to stuff like that. So even though with us as men, we be on some, you just want to get your rocks off real quick. But a sister gonna look at it like you gonna disrespect me with that. Now you lost respect from your woman because a woman's gonna look at it like, all right, so like Eddie Griffin said, you don't fuck down, you fuck up. So a
Upwards.
woman, especially a sister, she gonna be looking at it like up. A sister gonna be looking at it like, what you got going on? You know what I'm saying? You already disrespected our marriage, but now you disrespected badly because the heifer look like no disrespect, but she looked like she been on pills for a long time and
Hey,
she
she
young.
white. She white.
So I mean, come
She
on,
white.
man.
That's all you gotta say.
And she
She
white.
white.
Sisters don't like that shit, especially
She
boy.
white.
Sisters definitely don't like that. But she ain't even a fine white one. She just
There ain't
white.
no fine white one. There ain't no fine
She
white
ain't
one.
even a fine one.
Excuse him for saying that.
It's stupid. So
it's sad, man. But yeah, that's the most important thing: cooperation. So I want to talk about earlier for anybody who may have seen the show earlier. Once again, shout out to Pink Book Lessons, great sister, man. And we got to start doing our best to highlight sisters like that that speak up, speak on the truth. You know what I'm saying, and not letting it be some BS. And you know, a lot of women trying to have this sister code. We also talked about at the end of the show, and I want to get your perspective on this. H. We talked about at the end of the show with, and it's not necessarily about that situation again because we are me and you spoke on it, but it is highlighting what I see a lot of times. Like I spoke before, how this white woman will be on the side of sisters, and y'all go through so much. Y'all men oppress y'all too, like our men do us. But then when it comes to them facing off each other, you see white women haul tail. Just like with the Monique situation. Amy Schumer and Monique was going through the same thing at the same time. Amy Schumer, they was gonna give her 11 million. She was crying about that. 11 million. She came back and got an extra two. She seen what Monique was saying about her situation. She didn't say nothing. So Monique had to finally put a highlight on it like, hold on. You saying I'm a legend, but you gonna pay me scraps, kibbles, and bits, and then you come and get Amy Schumer 11 million, and then she fought and got 13 million, no problem. And Amy Schumer didn't come back and help her. She got her own and hauled ass. Rochelle Nichols said that disrespectful shit about Maria Taylor, like she ain't good at her job or something. So I want to get your perspective on how sadly a lot of our sisters get tricked by this white liberal bullshit, and then when it comes down to them facing off each other, they don't support them. They get mad, get attitude behind closed doors, talking about some diversity hire. So how you feel about that, H, on your perspective? How sadly a lot of our brothers too, but a lot of our sisters fall for that. I got your back shit until it's time for them to face off, and then they stab them in the back.
Well, I know I'm gonna get hated for saying this, but they fall. I believe one of the major things is they fall into the trap of the woman thing. Oh, this is a woman, so she's gonna feel my pain. She's gonna hurt like I hurt. But you gotta make the distinction. Yes, she's a woman, but she's a white woman. She's Caucasian. She's the white milk. And they have a whole different life, a whole different world than you do as a black woman. So they'll throw around that woman's power, woman, we all one woman to sound good, to get endorsements or to get praise or to get money for foundations and things like that. But when it comes down to it, if they have to go to bat for you, they're not because you're black. The sisters need to stop falling for that. Oh, because she's a woman, she's gonna have my back. You got to look beyond just that she's a female. You have to look at the color of the skin. They're afforded different things that you won't be able to be afforded, and they're gonna get a lot of things under the table that you're not gonna get because that white man's gonna want his white woman to have certain things that the black woman's not gonna have because they don't feel like you deserve it. They don't feel like you're on the level as the white woman. They don't think you're as smart. They don't think you're as talented. They don't think you're as pretty. So that's what I think is one of the major things as to why they fall for it. And also, just in this time that we're in, everybody wants to throw around, oh, it's 2021, things are different, things change. But every time a situation happens, it looks just like times of before. Just like when you were saying with the Amy Schumer thing, you see how quickly that mouth closed when it came to helping Monique? Because yeah, we women, but guess what? Monique is black, Schumer is white. And one thing in regards to the that Rachel Nichols situation, also, of course, there's the black and the white difference, of course, but however, with the connections. Rachel Nichols is the daughter-in-law of Diane Sawyer, And for those who don't know who Diane Sawyer is, go look her up. She's a very powerful white woman in media. So she's going to always have a leg up. And these white people, they always do that. What is it called? Nepotism, where it's like, I know this person, or I'm related to this person, or I'm connected to this person, or I'm going to get a word from this person. The blacks, we don't have that. You know, they always want to throw around those words, gatekeepers and things like that. I mean, it's real. The white people have it, and until we get our own shit, like we talk about over and over, it's gonna be that way. So these sisters need to stop believing that these white women really have their back, because they really don't. They have their own agenda. They have their own thing in the back of their head what's gonna help them and fatten their pockets, but they're not gonna help you fatten your pockets. So the sisters need to just stick with the sisters and stop stabbing each other in the back, because that's what they'll do. Yo, smile in front of these whites, but then when it comes to another sister, y'all want to get jealous and talk about, look at her fake hair, or she ain't even that smart, or she ain't even that pretty. But you're not saying that towards the enemy. The sister's not your enemy, the white woman is. But you think just because you can stand next to her and smile and she'll promise you, oh, I got you, don't worry about it. If somebody says something, just mention my name and it's all good. And then you mention the name and they get that person a call, they don't even answer the phone. So that's how I feel about it. They falling too much into this woman thing, but they gotta remember, look at your skin before you start thinking this woman stuff.
You think they your friend? Go up against them go up against them as for a man. For you know what I'm saying? Like go against them in competition and watch 80, 90 some percent of them don't show their true colors. Now I'm not saying there's no good people in general in the world because I'm tired of that. We like we said in previous shows, we are so sick and tired of there's good white people out there. We tired of hearing that. It's good people everywhere. But the problem is, like I always say, implicit biasness. They act like they don't see certain things that's going on around them because they're stuck in their own bubble. And I'm not mad at that. What I am frustrated is our own people acting like we don't see these things. We see these things. Stop acting like you blind. Stop trying to turn a blind eye to things that, gee, people, I've seen brothers, I'm sure you've seen this before too. I've seen dudes that come from the streets, hardcore dudes, get a job, and then turn into the Gregory Hines. They turn into
Ah,
Gregory Hines, the best tap dancer you've ever seen in your life. Hold on, boss. Let me get down there, shine your shoe. Looking at you, now they clocking you. Hey, bro, come on now. You can't be coming to work like that, Mister. Ain't happy with that. You know, you got to do better. Now he on Tom's side. Now he
and where's that
regulating
gonna
you.
get
He
him?
keeping you in check.
Where's that gonna get him? Is that gonna get you a piece of the company? No. Is that gonna
Because
get
how
you
many?
ownership? No.
I'm glad you said it. Because how many times have we actually went to a job, thought a lot of them were cool, and but they don't put you onto a lot of game. They don't put you. I remember you was telling me a story about a company you used to be with. You thought the white dude was decent, and then when you needed him, he turned his back on you. And it's like, okay, so you act like you got my back, but now like, yo, this is going on. I need help with this, and now you don't. You speak of no English.
Mm. Or a situation I was in where it was me and another sister who were the top performers in the department, and the supervisor lady left. Manager was saying all this stuff about me and the girl, how great we were, the great work, we're gonna do this and that. They brought a motherfucker in from outside of the company for me and this other sister to train to be above us. Ain't that a bitch?
Mm,
We already know how to do all this shit. We know how to do all the reports. Instead of giving the job to either me or the sister, they're gonna bring someone in from outside the company and say, "Hey, I need you and her to train this motherfucker." Kiss my
mm,
fucking ass.
mm. See, so we see it, and we always talking about God willing working to have our own. I know it's gonna be tough work. I already know because it's tough work to move up in the company, but to be able to have something and respect it as if you're working for somebody else, I think is the elite level of being proud of who you are, your community, and where you come from. I know we got some things we got to work on, God willing, but it does not necessarily mean you just give up and then just keep giving everything to them. All these super famous people that can start their own thing, but then they'll turn around and go work for another company. All these brothers that's athletes that retired. Gee, Ace, just think about how great how we could have had our own ESPN by now if all these brothers came together and was like, yo, we need to start our own network, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? With somebody like a Steven Jackson, with somebody like a Matt Barnes, with somebody like a Shaq, somebody like you know what I'm saying, Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan. Like, what if these brothers came together and started their own network? You know, it don't matter what company, what color the company is. Everybody and their mama gonna throw sponsorship dollars at those names I just named, and there's plenty more. Shannon Sharp, all the brothers that we see. If you had like a Stephen A. Smith, like if we had a network like that, all the brothers. Think about it. Maybe Jamil Hill, would you know what I'm saying, being able to go over there to a black network. Maria Taylor, all the sisters that work for ESPN and Fox Sports, they could have came over there to the network, and we could have been protecting our sisters, so they didn't have to go through a lot of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm speaking idealistically, but at the same time, just we imagine stuff like this, and we want to see this, and we try to tell people like, yo, we can network together and help one another. But the problem is, and what we got to stop doing is being so selfish and saying, "Oh, this person is trying to come up off of me." Why are you so afraid? Like Malcolm said, who taught you to hate yourself? Do you honestly think when you look at another black person, you're not looking in the mirror? You are. That is the community. So when you have somebody like a Jason Whitlock that will turn around and crap on his own people because he mad because I didn't know that Undisputed was actually his idea and he lost it. So that's why he started shitting on LeBron. But imagine if he would have been smart enough to say, you know what, that's some bullshit. Y'all know I started that idea. Instead of him going to Fox or wherever he was at, he could be like, you know what, fuck that. I'm gonna start hollering at the brothers behind the scene because I know they're going through the same thing. We seen it. We know there's so much bullshit going on at ESPN. So instead of you going to Fox, y'all could be like, you know what? Let's start our own. Hey, such and such, such and such, such and such. Let's build a network and do our thing. We got names out here. We made good money. It's only $300 to pay for a website, or you can do it yourself at $30, $40 a month. Then YouTube is free. But guess what? With all them names I just dropped, if they came together, they throwing crazy sponsorship dollars at these people. Simple as that. But people are afraid. So I wanna talk about one more thing, then we're gonna get out of here, y'all. The other thing I want to talk about is something that's a serious topic. You know, not to rush through it, but you know we're gonna get out here soon. But my other thing is another thing that showed us why we need to stop talking about left or right systems. You know what I'm saying? The government system. They came in and gave the Asian community that bill
Mm,
quickly.
mm.
And
Quickly,
what's so crazy,
no
it wasn't thrown
hesitation.
on the table like, yo, we gonna vote for this for the American people to vote on it. They just voted it as Senate on it. And you gotta realize something. Now we can be mad at Sleepy Joe, like 45 he used to call him.
Mm,
But guess what? Guess what though? For them to pass that in Senate, guess who else voted that? Republicans too. Democrats
mm,
and Republicans voted that in. But when we have black stuff, what we hear, they talk about changing the 13th Amendment. We see a bunch of Republicans. No, I ain't cool with that player. We talk about stuff for black people. No, I don't know about that. But then when it came to the Asian crime bill, both sides voted all the way hands down on it. So I want to ask you, H, on another thing, because we were just speaking about, our sisters being fooled. Now we got this group being fooled. All black people help get Sleepy Joe in office, and this us. He gave us Juneteenth as a holiday. Like, oh, just let them niggas have more fun, but we're gonna give the important shit to the Asian community. So how you feel about us being fooled to still keep thinking Democrats when they came in and still screw us over too?
It's just like we talk about all the time. All of them are crooks. All of them are nasty, and we need to have our own fucking party. And I also believe when I first saw that of how quickly they went to do that for the Asians, I believe it also has to do with some shit on the back end where they're thinking, you know what, if we do this for them, all the stuff, and I'm not, I'm just speaking on a broad scope, just Asians, period, whether because I know there's a difference between Japan, China, all that, but they're probably thinking of how it can help them. If it's like, all right, we sign this bill for them, they may be able to do something for us in the future. Or if we need, some money, if we need to get, a loan from somebody, if we need to borrow someone, or we need some allies in a war or something like that. So I believe they had some hidden agendas, also going along with that as to why they did it so fast. But of course, when it comes for something for us, they're not going to pass anything quickly, or they're going to just tell us, oh, it'll come, it'll come. You know why? Because they feel like we're useless. They feel like they're not going to need us for something big or huge. So that's why they overlook us. And all the time we sit and believe, oh, Republicans like us, oh, Democrats like us. No, at the end of the day, no, none of them like you. You know why? Because you still black. It don't fucking matter if you on the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. You still black. And if they feel like you're useless and you're beneath them, that's what you always gonna be. So that's why I feel like they went and did something for those Asian people because they feel like they can be useful and allies, and they don't view us as allies. They view us as beneath them.
Yeah, you said it right. Um, I remember watching an interview with the brother Dr. Anderson, Claude Anderson, and he was saying a lot of reasons why we don't get respect from Republicans is because we act like we ain't got no sense and being weak minded, and falling for anything. Don't have no system in place that we deserve any, fighting for. And then you gotta think, like you said, a perfect example when you think about it. China, like Asian Americans getting that bill passed because they have China. Not saying that, a lot of Asians don't or feel like, they are part of this community like that. But they know
Exactly.
in this government that China is a strong force. So we show
Mm-hmm.
pleasing things to the whole country,
Exactly.
Asia, we got allies. Because I'm sure you remember it was some things, some battle going on that 45 was having with China. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that Sleepy Joe was like, we got to do X, Y, Z to get them back on board. And I
Yep.
understand you got to do certain things, you got to have allies. I get that. But the problem is with our people, we don't have Africa on our side. You know what I'm saying?
We sure
Our
don't.
brothers and sisters is brainwashed cross seas. And it's so sad because it's like we need each other, but we still have tribal mentality. You know what I'm saying? Which is the main thing of why you had back in the days our ancestors selling each other. They wasn't looking at we like we are one, like Frankie Beverly and Mays. They didn't look at us as one. It was tribal. You know what I'm saying? It's like my block versus your block. That's how they look at it, and that's how we still are now. That's what a disconnect is on that situation. So I get it, But that's why we have to focus more on having our own thing and see the beauty in it. And the problem is, I know it gets frustrated. I know it's an uphill battle. I know it's a fight every day because we have our times you want to give up, God forbid. But it's like when you going through certain things and then you put certain things in place and you see God's blessing with the results, then you'll know what it was worth. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta have those small short term goals.
Yo, you went out. Yo.
You still there, HD?
Yeah, I'm here. You just went out, man. I ain't hear nothing. You just went
My
silent.
apologies, everybody. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It cut short. It's like, damn, we about to get up out of here. And damn, stream. But like I was saying, it's so sad we fight against each other. In those short term will bless you and prepare you to fight the big long term goal. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we got to focus on. So, parents, we need to get the hell out of here. So we about to go ahead and wrap the show up. Next, God willing, next Monday and Thursday, we're gonna go ahead and start going live at 10 p.m. I'm going to put out
Yeah.
some promos to y'all reminded to always check in 10 p.m. God willing, Monday and Thursdays. HD continuously and
That's right.
consistently. Mondays and Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Eastern
Yeah.
Time. Anything you want to say, HD, before we get out of here, Mike?
No, just stop pointing the fingers at each other and stop believing in that white maternal hand because it ain't gonna get you nowhere. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, ice is see-through, clear. It's not white. So stop thinking it is. All right, so we go get up out of here. Peace and love to everybody. We'll be back. Chill.